My brother abandoned his ex-wife, so I'm marrying her.
That's good.
If you love her, let her go to your brother.
Oh my. So I, 28 male, have been dating my brother's ex-wife, 30 female, for the past 3 years.
That's
We're in
crazy.
deep.
Can't go back at that
Unlike
point.
his brother. Oh man. My brother married his ex-wife 8 years ago. After she got pregnant, he didn't want the child and said that she had to terminate. Well, by the way, this comes from a lovely picture from the r/okstorytime subreddit. Woohoo. So she didn't want to. Not woohoo. So he just discovered her. He just discovered her in just 1 year.
Divorce story.
This guy discovered her growing body.
He just discovered
He just
her.
discovered
She's
her.
a new up-and-coming divorcee.
Wow. She didn't want to. So he just divorced her in just 1 year and gave up all of his rights. My then sister-in-law was devastated. She was a single mother. My brother does pay alimony and child support. We're all childhood friends and live in the same neighborhood. Awkward.
Ooh, he
That-
loved her this whole time. He was just
God.
waiting for his moment.
The girl next door, next to your brother as well?
Oh, this is complicated. I don't know what she saw in him that she married him so early. So my brother is a piece of crap. He bullied me as well. He is a golden child after all. Very entitled, I
Dang,
guess.
so revenge.
Revenge? So I supported my sister-in-law and friend throughout her pregnancy and helped my nephew as well. He never saw his father because the piece of crap never met him.
Oh.
Whoa.
And they live in the same neighborhood?
They live in the
He's
same
like,
neighborhood.
yeah, I've got a kid down the block.
Yeah, like
Never seen him.
I don't know. I'm not really close to my neighbors.
I just take my morning walk, in the
the
next neighborhood
opposite
over.
way.
Sometimes he
yeah.
mows my lawn. I pay him a couple bucks.
Yeah. But I pay him through PayPal, so I still
Yeah.
never
I
see
just
him.
put
Never
a blindfold
seen him.
on
Yeah,
when he walks up.
paperless,
Yeah.
cashless world that we live in.
So 3 years ago, we started dating. We never told any of our family members, and I moved in with her. We avoided telling anyone as to not create a
Street from
problem.
his brother?
Yes, dude, this is crazy. All this stuff is going on. They're in the same neighborhood. Nobody knows because no one's seeing each other, talking to each other, anything. Insanity.
Bunch of screenagers.
So about a week ago, my brother came at his ex's place, and he was shocked to see me there and asked me what I was doing here. And we had no choice but to tell him the truth.
And they've been dating for 3 years. That's crazy.
We don't know how long they've been living together, but yeah, in a
But
relationship
dating for 3 years.
absolute
lot.
insanity.
I would be if that was if I was the brother, I would be pretty like I'd probably be pretty upset.
If you have seen your brother at all in those 3 years,
And
Kind of
nothing
whack.
was said.
kind of whack.
Kind of whack.
Oh,
Is it
was
whack?
that an a-hole move? Is it whack?
I don't know. Even
Is
if you
it
like,
whack?
don't like your brother, I'd just be like, I
I think it's whack.
think it's a little whack.
I think it's kind of whack.
I think it's pretty whack.
I think it's kind of whack. We'll poll it. Let us know. And in the comments,
Poll it.
you YouTube episode watchers. So he was very mad at me, and he hit me, screaming at me, how could I do this to him? He clearly thinks it's whack. He voted in the poll.
You know, it is whack.
Yeah.
Conspiracy theory.
Yes.
He's saying his brother is such a D-bag to justify the whackness
Yeah.
of getting with your brother's ex-wife.
He's
Yes.
like, my brother sucks
My
so
brother
much,
sucks.
I swear. That's why I had
He was
to
the golden
take his
child.
wife.
Everyone liked them except me
Yeah.
and his ex-wife.
Two wrongs don't make a right or let you date your brother's wife.
Oh, that kind of rhymes.
Got him.
Slant rhyme.
Slant rhyme.
Just give it to me, Sophia. God,
Slant rhymes are
Slant rhymes are
real
still
nice.
rhymes.
Yeah.
No, it has to be a slant.
Eminem uses slant rhymes, John.
Everybody uses
Oh,
slant
well, then
rhymes.
why are you so upset
I'm
about
taking
slant
up your
rhymes?
camera now, Sophia. Let me have it. A bit after this fight, he said he came here to reconnect with his ex and become a part of his child's life. And he didn't know that I was a scumbag enough to do this.
Kind of crazy that he was like, you know what? One day, like, I'm going to reconnect with my kid. I'm just going to walk down the street.
I'm going to take the big step
Yeah.
out of my front porch and onto yours.
I don't
And
think I
after
need to like
3
call her
years-
up or anything. Just knock on her door.
I mean, they're all neighbors,
Great point.
you know,
Yeah.
like friendly neighborhood ex-wife.
Yeah, we don't have co-parenting love. We have neighborly love. Gotta love it. My now girlfriend threatened him, saying that he should leave, and she doesn't want anything to do with him. He screamed at both of us, calling us lovely names. And in the end, we both threatened to call the cops if he didn't leave, so he finally left.
And he's like, all right, fine, I'm going. And then walks the block over to his own house. And it's just steaming from his front yard, just looking.
They can still hear him slamming his door. Yeah, oh my God. So now all my family members, mom, dad, grandparents are saying that I shouldn't have had such a relationship with my brother's ex and that I'm scum and they are ashamed of me. Not mince words. Yeah. I should break up with her so that way my brother can be with his wife and child and I am an obstacle.
That's crazy. I don't understand why they don't take into consideration
that he didn't want to be in his...
Well, the wife's perspective of just like, you need to leave so that they can get back together. She clearly doesn't want to do that.
Well, I mean, she doesn't have like a will of her own though, right?
No, she's just a woman.
She's just a damsel in distress waiting for a man to come save her.
Where's my neighborly man? Someone, men of my neighborhood, please submit your applications.
Please be my neighbor.
Wink.
Will Rogers.
Oh,
no,
man.
Not Will Rogers. Mr. Rogers.
Mr. Rogers.
Shout out to Mr. Rogers. The goat of sweaters.
So true.
So I said to them that we're going to tell them soon and are planning to get married this year or early in 2025. And they called me names and threatened to cut contact with me and won't attend the wedding. My girlfriend is saying to not mind them and that we'll just get married, even if it's just the two of us, and to report my brother for what I did. So am I the a-hole for doing this? There is an update, but we have to stop. We have to stop. Sam, you have your thinking face and your thinking hand.
He's got his thinking face
I got my thinking cap on.
Talk to us.
What I think is if you go through with this, you will not have, it doesn't seem like you're going to have a relationship with your family. So if you're okay with completely having no contact with your family, then like go ahead. I do think it's a little whack to plan to marry your brother's ex-wife without telling him and only telling him 3 years into the relationship. Like that's a little whack. I think you should have been like as soon, even if he's a D-bag, as soon as you started something with her, you should have said something.
But I also can't imagine that he has that close of a relationship with anyone in his family if none of them knew that he was dating her for 3 years.
They're all in the same neighborhood.
I can't imagine they're close.
OP, the brother, and the ex-wife.
Also,
Those
I
three.
would like to just point out that we're assuming they still all live in the same neighborhood. I think they just said they grew up together.
That's true. Yeah.
Well,
we
no,
might be way over.
For comedic purposes,
they're all in the
they all live
neighborhood.
together.
I think they all said they're in the neighborhood.
They specified that they're still all living together.
I think so.
I just didn't want to point it out because it was funny.
My brother does play child support. We are all childhood friends and lived in the same neighborhood. So yeah, Sophia, it seems Sophia's right. But the bit is great.
For the sake of the bit,
for the sake
they
of the
all
bit.
live in the same neighborhood. I just want so no one's like, we need to go reaction. You guys are stupid.
Guys, we know I'm an idiot, okay?
We know that.
But I'm an entertaining idiot, all right?
Yeah, it's funnier, guys.
Exactly. Let us have some comedy.
Yeah.
But basically, is brother the a-hole? Sam, Sophia?
I think it's a-hole behavior to not tell your brother that you're dating his ex-wife. I think it's an a-hole move.
I think it's a-hole. Obviously, he's the a-hole for you know how he ended the relationship and hitting his brother.
Yeah.
But,
I think everyone's an a-hole here.
As Josephine Middelberg-Piest, being whack does not mean that you should be whacked.
No.
Whoa. Nice one, Josephine.
Nice.
Before we get into the update, our polls, only 8% of our audience that polled thinks it's whack. Only 8%. They're like, God.
Y'all are crazy. 92% of you say it's not whack to date your brother's ex-wife without saying anything.
There is a world where it's if it's like they're I don't think they're in this world, but they're totally cut off. They're all like, you know, it's just so clearly they're all psychotic maniacs that it's like, okay, this is best for the child and everything else. But I don't know if it was at that point, and he should have at least tried, like, just told him. I don't know. Just tell him. Just tell him.
Just tell him. I don't think it even has to be like, I'm asking permission. It's just like, yo, I'm dating your ex-wife.
Yes.
Boom.
You drop a letter in the mailbox.
Look, the votes are quickly, so now it's jumped up to 23%.
There we go.
How quickly you change your mind.
Yeah,
How
I thought
fickle.
you were people of substance that actually stuck to your guns.
Thought you were
But here
people
you
of-
are being swayed by a couple of idiots on a couch.
Yes, I thought you were friends and countrymen of science
Some
and logic and
science.
reason. But you
True
are
Renaissance
fickle.
people, but yet you're just a dark age hooligan.
It always makes me feel like I'm swaying an election. It makes me feel so good and
Dude,
powerful.
you're like Russia over
Chad
here.
is Chad is a
Basically.
swing state.
I
Chad
am
is
the
a swing
dictator
state.
of this poll.
That
red
is
and
a
blue.
swinger state.
Exactly. Come on, guys.
Come
but
on.
there's an update. Buckle your seatbelts. First of all, thanks to the majority of people for their support and kind opinions. There are also some who threaten me, saying that if it were them, I'd be 2 feet under, or there are some people that I shouldn't mess with. All right. Or that I shouldn't put on my hands on someone's wife or blood.
Wait, 2 feet under.
I know, right? Like, just finish
I
the
want
job.
you to have a shallow grave.
Yeah, come on. At least do me,
I won't give you
Yeah.
a proper burial. That's how much I hate
Let's
you.
at least go regulation burial,
Yeah,
okay?
6 foot, come
My
on.
God. It's
You can
embarrassment on
dig
you.
your way out of that.
Yeah, come on.
Everyone
Dude, you're
knows
like
that.
one arm away from zombieing her out of that thing.
That's
for
like that
yourself.
episode in Monk when he gets buried alive
Oh my
and
God.
he's only like 2 feet deep, so they're able to find him.
So, also saying that I shouldn't put my hands on someone's wife or blood. Bro, he did that to himself. He abandoned both of them. And before she's my brother's ex-wife, she was my best friend.
Ooh. My
It's putting
best
forth an
friend.
argument.
My brother's best friend is the one for me.
Ooh.
I don't think it's bad that you dated. I think it's bad
Just
that
tell.
you kept it
Yeah.
a secret for 3 years. What do
Yeah.
we always say in the show? What do we say?
Secrets are like cheese. The longer you keep them, the more stinky
stinkier
they are.
But
a
unlike
good kind of
cheese, it's not more delicious the
Nope.
longer it waits.
Yep.
It's gross.
It's a gross
You know,
kind of
I think
cheese.
it's gross either way. I'm
What?
I'm
No,
fully
dude,
in on the
stinky
analogy.
cheese. Blue cheese.
Oh, I had this amazing. But anyway, sorry. Stinky cheese is good.
Point
Secrets are
taken.
not.
So coming back to the update, there's nothing much to say. Then why write it? Yes.
Damn, John.
Sorry.
Then why are we even
Calls
here?
it like
Yeah,
I sees
yeah.
it.
I came to this freaking stream for an update.
But yesterday we sat down and called my family and talked to clear some things up. It was my girlfriend who talked to them, and she said even if we both don't get married, there's no chance that she will be with him or allow him to meet her kid no matter what, and it isn't up to him to decide for her what she can and can't do. Remember,
He gave up rights.
he gave up
He
full
gave
custody.
up
Yeah.
full custody.
Legally, that is within her
Dude,
wheelhouse.
honestly, he does sound like a D-bag.
Yeah.
I could totally see why she doesn't want him interacting with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
It took
mean,
him 3
Cut
years.
him
one,
off.
he asked, he kind of like really pushed for her to terminate the child and then gave up all rights.
And he just, to your point, he just walks in
He
like,
walks in.
I'm ready to be a father now.
He just
Like,
knocks on the door.
And then punches the first person that he sees.
like, what a father figure.
His brother's like,
I
I've
get
been
it.
here for 3 years.
Yeah, he's taking care of
Of
his
your child.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
He's Uncle Dad.
He's
Uncle
Uncle
Dad.
Dad.
I kinda get
He's
it.
brother
a
uncle.
whole new breed
And
of
you're
Uncle
just
Dad
neighbor.
has entered the chat. Well, my family and my brother all started convincing her to give my brother a chance to be a dad and a husband after a lot of yapping. My wife said, no, she already has found another man and there isn't much that he can do to stop her. Then my brother started threatening me because he knew I was listening.
Damn.
Listening?
I mean-
in the house or something?
I guess so.
Yeah.
I didn't even say that much. He said I went too far and was saying nasty things. My wife cut him off and said he never contacted any of us. So it's like, hey, this goes two ways.
Never contact
Maybe
any of us.
we like didn't inform you of this, but you never talked to us.
Oh, so
I-
they
no,
didn't
no, no,
they
no.
didn't talk for like 3 years.
I think that they're saying never contact us again. Not that
oh,
he never
you're right.
contacted.
And said
yeah.
never contact any of us. You're right. Okay.
Okay.
Good
Yeah.
point. Reading comprehension for the win. Boom. So now we have decided that we are going to file a complaint in the morning and move somewhere else near her parents or at her parents. So maybe they are still living in pretty close proximity. My God. If I marry her, he won't need to pay alimony, but he will be required to pay child support unless I adopt him. So we decided to forget about money and are going forward with the marriage and the adoption.
Why?
How
Get the free money though.
Oh.
Maybe it's
Maybe
like
they don't
cut
want
all
connection.
ties.
Yeah.
You know,
They don't wanna
I
deal
can
with
see
them.
that. Especially
but with child support, is there any? I don't think there's any like obligation to have the father visit her, right?
No, but it's like just
I think perhaps he could file for like legal, like he could sue again, or try and get custody again.
Right.
If
It just
proves
makes
that
it
he's been.
just another string attached.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah, let me
Especially if they don't
know
need it.
how child support
Yeah.
works in the comments.
Tell
I'm-
us comments
I'm
in
curious.
chat. Inform us. We don't care about vengeance or money. We just want to live our lives in peace and without any drama. And I'll never talk to my family or have any contact with them, even if I or any of them pass away, because F them. Okay, so
Wow.
OP has gone like
Nuclear.
fully nuclear no contact.
Nuclear. That
Even
is
in the hospital.
that is nuclear no contact. It's like no
nuclear.
contact is like, oh, I'm not going to talk to them. This is like in case of death,
yeah.
I still won't say
still don't
anything.
want to hear about it.
I won't even talk to your ghost. That's how no contact I'm going. So do we?
I won't even talk to you if I find out that you've been buried 2 feet under.
Yeah, no seance is allowed. Do we agree with the nuclear no contact?
I
guess.
Personally, I would never be like, even in this scenario, I would never be like, I will not talk to anyone, even in death. That feels a little extreme.
Mhm.
Even till death, I won't talk to you.
Seances included.
Yeah, seances included, Ouija board, like we're working that out. No, I think I would I would go no contact because it seems like these people are pretty toxic.
Yeah.
But like if they died, I would or were dying, I would be like, what's up?
There's this kind of like I don't know, exception area for like, okay, if someone's in the hospital, you could
There's wiggle room.
Yeah.
But you're not like talking. You generally speaking don't have regular communication.
But also, this might just be OP like in the spur of the
heat
Reddit
of the moment.
post moments.
Yeah.
Everyone on Reddit gassing him up like, yeah.
Like, don't talk to them. He's like,
let 'em
yeah.
don't talk to their
even
ghosts.
Even if they pass away.
Yeah. True. Okay. Yeah, I agree. I think no on nuclear, no contact. But I think no contact.
No contact is good.
Is good.
And then Schmed said, just had custody court myself today, lol. Birth dad had contempt for child support last week because he never pays.
Ooh, like contempt of courts.
Yeah, contempt of court, I think.
What does that mean again?
Contempt?
It's like when the judge is like, I'm going to hold you in contempt of court. And you get like
oh, no.
I think you get fined or something.
Yeah, I think it like, yeah. I actually don't know what it is.
I don't know.
Yeah, right?
I only know it in
means.
like the movies they go,
It's bad.
Yeah.
hey, mister, I'm going to hold you in
court.
contempt of court.
Yeah. I felt that's like, it's like, oh, something's
Like
bad.
in
but
my
what
cousin
is-
Vinny, when he like comes in dressed badly, and the judge is like, if you don't dress better, I'm holding you in contempt of court. And he comes back and he's like, that's 1 count of contempt of court.
And he's like, I don't know what that means. Give me 7.
Yeah. I don't know what it means either.
Judge.
Okay, so yeah, we're fully on
Jelly
board
Bus
for no
says
nuke
fine and or jail time.
That's exactly.
I think you
it.
could even get jailed for it. Dang.
Get jailed.
Sometimes
for
they
it.
actually
If
land you in a
got-
jail cell
get
for
caught.
a night or
Yeah,
two.
if you got too
get
many.
caught.
Yahoo!
Let's get back into
Yahoo!
this update. Some relevant comments. Early Nebula said 3261 says, as someone from a dysfunctional family, you are looking at this from a lens of someone who isn't. Blood means actually nothing to me. Loyalty is given to those who show it. There wouldn't be any guilt for me personally. I don't owe a single member of my blood family a dang thing. Are there specific ones who genuinely fulfilled the role that our relations imply? Yes, and those I would never betray and love to death. The rest of them could fall off the face of the earth, and I couldn't care less. Blood means what you let it. It means a lot to someone and next to nothing to others. So I guess basically saying like kind of agreeing with OP's.
Yeah, like blood doesn't matter.
Yeah, blood doesn't matter. Stigley says, because family. That's a wonderful phrase a-holes throw around to excuse all kinds of crappy behavior and demand forgiveness. If their only reason to demand fair treatment is the shared DNA, then maybe they should look in a mirror to see the a-hole. Boom! Got him. There are many reasons to have trust and respect for someone. DNA is not one of them.
Ooh.
Growing up together means you have a deep understanding of them and so many strong levels of trust and respect, but DNA does not automatically grant that. I feel
And
like that's pretty
actually,
decent.
he
way of
does
saying
have a DNA connection.
it. This is the deepest DNA connection.
Mhm.
He is his uncle.
That's true. That's true. He honestly is probably gonna. It's just he's being a better father than
Yeah.
his brother ever could be.
This is true. Uncle, brother, dad.
Uncle,
Uncle,
brother,
brother,
dad.
dad.
Coming in clutch. Fragrant Imposter says, Okay, Storytime fan? Maybe. There's also a bond that can happen when two people have been mistreated by the same person. It's hard to explain just how messed up someone can be after years of dealing with one person's particular shade of awful until they can discuss it with another person who dealt with that same awful person. That bond can take a lot of forms of different types of relationships, but in the end, shared trauma can have a lot of weight.
So basically, the brother was so awful that it was a reason that OP and his brother's ex-wife fell in love.
Together. Yeah, they were like, wow, this guy sucks.
This guy sucks.
Yeah.
It's like you're getting hazed by the same like fraternity
And then you
brother.
fall in love.
Yeah.
And then you fall in love.
Yeah, they should
Guy
do a
sucks.
movie like that.
Oh,
Like where it's like a
Trauma bond?
fraternity movie where they're all getting hazed and then two of the guys fall in love.
That actually
That's
would
pretty
be
I think that
kind
could
of
go pretty hard.
iconic. Yeah. And it's like, because it's like contrast with toxic masculinity
Yeah.
and love.
Yes. It's
And then they're struggling to deal with like the fraternity and stuff and thinking that they're not going to be accepted. But then
Yeah.
at the end of the day, switches it is the fraternity accepts them.
Yeah.
Ooh, and then they're like, what if they get like crowned? You know how they have like
And then
like
they all walk in
homecoming
the
king
pride
or whatever?
parade.
It's like they're the homecoming king.
They all walk
And
in
then
the
the whole
pride
fraternity's the
Yeah.
pride parade.
Yeah.
Dang, that's
Yeah.
kind of fire.
Yes. I'm writing this.
I think you could write that.
I think
Yeah,
I
you
could
really
write this
could.
You
movie.
haven't been to enough frat events, though, I think, to have an
I've
Yeah,
been
you
to
need
zero
some-
frat events.
Yeah.
I've never been to a frat party in my
You two
life.
combined could maybe.
I
Could
think
Yeah,
maybe
you're
pull
my
it off.
you're
Many a
my my source.
yeah, they're not great. They're not great. Just
Yeah.
imagine a thin layer of alcohol and bodily fluids coating the floor.
I went to one frat house, but it was a theater party.
No,
No,
just
no.
stop.
And he gave
Stop
us
there.
a room tour, and there was like bowls of cereal on the floor. And we go up to his room, and there's a giant American flag, an axe on the wall, and a crossbow. And I was like, okay, I need to leave.
That's kind of sick, though. A crossbow.
They don't.
It
don't
sounds
give
like
us-
Riley's
Riley
room.
has a giant axe now that
I do.
Christian had to hide
I'm gonna go get
because
it.
Chip kept sniffing it.
Don't you
He
can't? I
loves
don't
it.
think you can legally show that on stream.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's a weapon.
That's true. There's a hot dude.
Okay.
It's
Fair enough.
Riley.
But what about this hot story?
What about this hot story?
Is
We're
there
about to
more?
finish it. By the way, you can join us live on YouTube every weekday, 3 p.m. PST.
Oh,
Wow.
oh, wow. We're really close to the end.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We have one relevant comment left coming from Individual Soft 9373, who says, cutting my family off was the best decision I ever made. They were cruel when they weren't apathetic and manipulative when they aren't absent. If someone ever tries to hit you with blood is thicker than water crap, remind them that the full saying is, say this all the time, the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb.
I literally say that all the time.
All the time.
You say the blood of the covenant
Yes.
is thicker than the water
John can
of
She
the
does.
attest.
womb.
She does say
I
that.
do say this
And
all
it's great
the
every
time.
time.
I've never heard you say that.
I've said it all the time on
She
stream.
said it multiple times. And,
There's
it
proof.
it goes every time.
Goes hard
It goes every
time.
time. Chosen family over blood every time. Edit. Here I am responding like this in the post and not on the subreddit. Lol. And that is the end of the story. That's it.
Woo!
Wow.
That's all we got.
Well, I guess it's kind of a happy ending.
Yeah.
Kind of. It seems
They
like
cut off the family and
Yeah.
they're going to get married. It seems like it's good.
Yeah.
it seems like he's gonna be a 10x more present father of the child. He wants it. The mother of the child is like, yes, I want you as a father. They'll have their own insulated little bubble. They're moving away physically.
Could be pretty
Seems
cool.
like we got it.
I think OP did most of the only thing I would change is just telling the brother more,
Yes.
telling the brother sooner
Yes.
that he was planning on seeing the ex-wife because it was gonna come out anyway, so might as well do it early.
I feel like as soon as you hit that like boyfriend girlfriend thing,
But
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 to turn it back on myself, I think maybe if he said it too early, it would have like upset, like it's like a nascent relationship, so it could have, like, the brother's anger could have destroyed the beginnings of the relationship.
plus you could go back and argue if you dig deep in the text, like, were they essentially no contact to begin with? Because if maybe they weren't explicitly, now they're explicitly no contact. But one could argue if they were no contact before, well, it's like, well, by the bylaws of no contact, you don't contact him to tell him about the relationship.
those are the bylaws.
Those are the bylaws.
I want to have a whole podcast where Sam debates his own points. Can we do that? Because that would really be
I think he
an
does that
incredible
all the
episode.
time. He'll be talking to me, and he'll be arguing something, and he's like, "Actually, do I believe that?" And then he'll start arguing the opposite side. He's like, no, actually, I believe the first thing.
I do. I promise.
I do that all the time.
Guys, like this video, if you want to see the Sam solo argument episode where he has to argue both sides and sit in all of the
That is what my head is. My head is arguing both sides simultaneously.
I want an edited version where it's just Sam switching, but it looks like he's just talking to himself.
And he's in all the
It's
different
like that
seats.
Joe Rogan edit where he's talking. Joe Rogan talks to himself.
I love that.
Concerning.
But you know what we're going to have Sam debate himself about next?
Whoa.
Ooh.
This next story. Some say he's a master at it.
Am I the a-hole for not putting my kids in private school for free? So, my husband, 39 male, and I, 37 female, have been together for 16 years, married for 13. We have 2 COVID babies, who I will call Christine, 3 female, and Marcus, 4 male, both of whom who are currently enrolled in public school. Who went to public school here?
Your boy.
2v2.
2v2.
We
Yeah,
got,
well,
we
I
got
had applied to my high
Let's go.
school.
Catholic private schools.
Let's go.
Yeah, but Sam went to like I don't know. I feel like the boys at your school are pretty crazy.
Well, just boys are crazy everywhere.
Okay, but no, like especially in middle school,
Oh,
the
but
boys in your
the boys
year
in my middle school
were
were terrible.
crazy.
Yeah.
like crazy. Oh my God, they were nightmares.
Okay, story time
Yeah.
about the boys in my
Ooh,
school.
here we go.
By the way, this comes from Pinky Bane on the r/OKstorytime subreddit. So, the backstory. When I first met my husband in 2007, he was in a really bad place. It was so bad he was on the verge of ending it all before I agreed to go on a date with him. Was that his?
That's nice.
That's nice, but was that his like thing where it's like, go on a date with me or else?
I think it was more like he was like, I've got nothing to live for, and then OP was like, hey,
Want to go
want
on
to
a
go
date?
out? And he was like,
I have something to live
Yes.
for.
Yes.
He had been kicked out of his home by his mom after a fight because he came home smelling like smoke. He worked at a bar and a restaurant at the time. Or maybe he was just by a campfire. No.
Yeah, come on.
That fight was the straw that broke the camel's back, and he went no contact with her. He lost his job just a few months after he moved in with a coworker, and they eventually asked him to pay up or leave, I guess, from the apartment.
Ooh.
He was couch surfing when he could, but mostly living in his car when he couldn't stay at a friend's place. He sold plasma to earn just enough money to take me on that date, buy me a single rose, and put 4 gallons of gas in his car so he could make it 2-hour date.
That's insane. Wow.
Literally his last bit of
Wow.
money.
like plasma.
Plasma
Whole
is his blood.
Part of his
Body.
To be
Go
able
on
to
this
go
date.
here.
Romance isn't dead.
Chivalry, man.
He didn't eat anything for 3 days after our date until he could donate plasma again. He never told me any of this until we'd been dating for 5 months. After he broke down and told me everything. I couldn't leave him like that. Oh, like was she considering leaving him? So I
No,
brought him
like-
home with me. I walked in and told my parents, this is my boyfriend and he doesn't have a home anymore or a place to stay. He stayed with us on the couch for 2 weeks before my dad set him up on our neighbor's spare room. Since my dad wouldn't let him stay in my room with me for some odd reason. My whole family accepted him with open arms and
Aw.
supported him as he got back on his feet. He calls me his angel because of me
Oh.
saying yes to that date was the difference between life and death for him. Wow.
Wow.
That's
That's a lot of
cute.
pressure.
Yeah.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
I was
lot of
just
pressure.
about to say that. That's a lot. Like yes,
Yeah.
it's cute, but
Yeah.
imagine if it's
Yeah.
not going well.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
you're
someone says, "Hey, like I was gonna end it all before you went on a date with me."
yeah,
And then anything
Yeah.
goes wrong in the relationship, it's like,
yeah. It does put a lot of pressure.
yes.
It does seem, however, to his credit, it does seem like he wasn't trying to put any of that pressure on
No.
until the relationship was pretty.
good,
Right.
But like I see you is the relationship gonna stay good?
That's the question.
That's the question. So he inevitably proposed to me after we've been together for 3 years, and of course I said
Wow.
yes. The drama.
Oh,
All right. So
Oh,
now
dear.
everything was good, but now I got some
Oh,
drama.
no.
Good, here we go.
see it.
I didn't meet any of his family until after we'd gotten engaged. I didn't even know he had a sister until we've been dating for 2 years. When he finally took me to meet his mom, his dad died when he was 7 or 8. She was very cold and distant. She made a nasty little underhand comments about my skin tone. I'm a light brown and he's neon white.
Dude, I've never heard that description.
Neon white.
Neon white.
He's blindingly
Blinding.
white.
Ah!
Nothing that was obviously racist, but very needling. When he tried to talk to her about the achievements he'd made at work, she'd talk about how sister-in-law was getting her master's degree. When he tried to talk about how I was going to community college, she'd tell us how her sister-in-law's partner was going to medical school.
We don't care.
After several other meetings like this, we both decided it was best to go low contact with mother-in-law. You know, if someone's not making you feel good,
Totally.
I don't think give them a time of day.
Yep.
We only saw mother-in-law 2 to 3 times a year, usually Mother's Day / her birthday and Christmas, and we saw sister-in-law maybe once a year. It was complete radio silence the rest of the year. They don't call him, and he doesn't call them. We spent most of our weekends and holidays with my extended family. So basically, OP and their significant other are not really spending time with the significant other's family, really at all.
No.
So it stayed like this for nearly a decade. Okay, so they've been
Whoa.
like there now for 13
Wow.
years
Dang.
until we had our son, Marcus. Everything was about Marcus, which was fine until it wasn't. 14 months after we had Marcus, we had Christine. I would never recommend anyone to have kids that close together. But after years of infertility, we were thrilled to have a boy and a girl. My family was ecstatic. Everyone loves on both of my babies every chance they get. Mother-in-law, though, not so much.
Oh, no.
The first thing mother-in-law said when she met Christine wasn't how sweet, how beautiful, or even what a cute little alien, because most newborns look weird,
Boom!
which is true.
Yes.
True.
John is very happy to tell everyone what is it,
I've
John?
been trying to tell you guys. Babies are ugly. That's
Babies are ugly.
basic. That's the headline.
Sophia
you know?
did show me a picture of a baby recently.
Yeah.
Now everyone comes
I will say,
circling back.
The babies are very cute, but the first picture I saw of him was like face screwed up.
Well, because they're all squished in there.
Exactly.
They
They
got
just
no
got out.
room.
when they just come
got
out, their faces, because
Fresh out of the
I
oven.
still have Sophia. Feel. See the cone?
No.
There's a cone
Where?
right here, like this. There's a cone. I have a cone head. Okay,
I didn't notice.
Wait, so
because
if you
my head
shaved your
didn't fit.
head,
You'd look like a cone.
would you have a cone head?
It's coney. Yes,
Oh.
it would be like it's like a roof.
And what happened?
My head was so large that after much effort and squeezing of my face and my skull shape wouldn't work. So I had to be C-section.
Wow.
That's what happened.
Oh, so like it got like the
My
little
head
tip
was-
of the head.
My face was bruised. My head, my little, because baby skulls are soft.
Yeah.
So
really soft.
my skull
Malleable.
was pushed in like a roof shape. It was being pushed so hard. But
Your poor mother.
my dome piece was just too
Your
freaking fat,
poor
bro.
mother.
My dome piece was too freaking
Oh
fat.
my
Didn't work.
God.
Didn't work.
Oh my god!
I recently asked my mom how her births went,
Yeah.
and apparently mine was easier. And Sam was smaller.
Yeah.
He came 2 weeks early.
2 weeks early.
Induced.
Yeah, I was
I'm not
tortured.
saying I'm the best child, but I was easier.
I'm the
than
best kid
I
ever.
am.
Oh, you're a copy man.
Yeah. Who am I?
I
I'm
was
the best child. It wasn't, oh, what a cute little alien, because most newborns look weird. It was, oh, she looks darker than Marcus.
Mm.
Oh my God.
That's a shame.
Not even a microaggression, just a full on aggression.
Yes. Yep.
Because of this and other comments, we continue to stay low contact with mother-in-law. Makes sense.
Yes. Why would you want that around your children?
Sister-in-law did make an effort to spend time with both kids. She chose to be child-free, but wants to be the fun aunt. She paid for them to be in baby gymnastics and tumbling classes every week for about 2.5 years. Her original plan was that she and her partner would take both kids to these classes on Saturday mornings. That way, my husband and I could have the morning to ourselves. That plan lasted about 3 weeks. Sister-in-law still pays for the class, but we didn't get our Saturday mornings, which was fine. And I was thankful because it really helped the kids develop their motor skills. So I think they're still in baby gymnastics and doubling. Sister-in-law also started asking to take Marcus to sleepovers at her home when he was only 18 months. She lives 4 hours away from us. We said no and didn't let Marcus and Christine sleep over until they were 2 years old. 4 hours away is...
That's a big,
Yeah.
Especially because, young children want their parents. And if
Yeah,
they,
exactly.
start crying about it.
And then they start crying. It takes 4 hours to get there.
Yeah.
Also, the lawyer princess says, granted, second kids are always easier. Get wrecked, Sophia. Sister-in-law asked to take Marcus on an out-of-state trip so he could hang out in the base camp. What does that mean? While she climbed a mountain peak over and over when he was 3.
Wait, I'm sorry.
said
She's
no.
like, hey, can I take him on a trip? I'm going to climb a mountain and he's going to stay at the base camp?
Yeah.
He's 3.
He should be learning, Sophia.
He should figure it out.
How do you survive base camp if you don't start with the basics?
She calls up. She's like, hey, can I take you 3-year-old? I'm going to leave him in the woods with a switch knife and a lighter.
And I'm going to go
and
hunt.
He's going to figure it out.
He's going to figure it out.
He's going to figure
A
it
lot
out.
of characters going to be built.
Yeah.
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah. amazing.
I want my baby to really just have all the skills necessary to survive. And if you just give them those skills, they won't really cultivate it for themselves. Teach a baby to survive. Or no, give the baby some milk.
Baby to walk.
Survives for a day. Teach a baby to survive in the wilderness with the switchblade alone.
They'll never die.
They'll never die for a lifetime.
For forever.
So sister-in-law didn't talk to us for a few months after we said no to that. Most recently, sister-in-law asked to go camping this summer. We said yes because sister-in-law normally rents an RV to go camping. We didn't find out until later that sister-in-law only wanted to take Marcus camping.
What's up with the obsession with Marcus?
We were a bit upset, but decided to make sure Christine had a fun weekend with mom and dad. When they brought Marcus back, we found out that they had gone bare bones tent camping in the middle of June. Marcus didn't get sunburned, but he was exhausted, filthy, and covered in scratches from hiking. I wasn't happy, but I didn't make a big deal over
I
it.
feel like I'm right. I feel like she is taking this child into the woods.
He's all
Leaving
scratched
him.
and
Yeah.
such.
This is
I don't know.
a lot.
I think I would make a big deal.
Yeah,
I don't know if
I
I
think
would
so.
let my 3-year-old just go on a camping
like-
trip without me.
I want him to get really good at rock climbing wall. We're just gonna go straight to Yosemite. He's 3.
Yeah.
He's ready.
Let's
And
free
honestly,
solo
doesn't need a
it.
rope. Yeah, free
Yeah,
solo,
that
easy.
baby's gonna learn.
And if he doesn't,
He
survival of
falls.
the fittest.
Somebody I see.
The details, Marcus is considered special needs. He lost his hearing after a really bad ear infection in both ears, which is what happened to Helen Keller. When he
Great fact.
Fun fact.
fun fact, yeah. Which didn't Helen Keller have some kind of
She couldn't hear or.
but I think it was because she got a fever.
I don't know.
Probably.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think so.
Sounds
That's usually,
accurate.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now she's dead, so we don't know.
From
I
old age.
I went down a Helen Keller rabbit hole the other day on YouTube.
Yeah.
And-
I'm not gonna lie. I don't love when people make or say, "Oh, she couldn't have existed," because I feel like that's a little bit ableist.
People,
Not that you said that.
TikTok is
TikTok-
going crazy with the Helen Keller.
TikTok
isn't
is
real.
so convinced that she does not exist, couldn't possibly exist, and I'm like, that's so ableist to people who can't see or hear. They can do things.
They can do
I
things.
don't understand.
That's some
It's
freaking
hard,
faith.
of
Just
course.
because you making TikToks can't get off your booty
No.
and make yourself a sandwich doesn't mean that Helen Keller can
This is
Yeah.
crazy.
do the same,
Wow.
One Helen Keller joke.
What? No,
Why can't she drive?
because she can't see.
Because she's deaf and blind.
Because she's dead.
Nice work, Riley.
Okay.
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 All right. So he lost his hearing. He was just starting to talk about 14 months, and it wasn't caught until he was 2 years old. Thankfully, an ENT was able to restore his hearing via surgery, but the damage had already been done. And my son was diagnosed with a severe speech delay. No one beside my husband and I could understand him when he tried to talk, and we could only understand 40% to 50% of the time. He would get so angry and frustrated that he would bang his head on any hard surface, usually the tile floor, a wall, or a chair, when we couldn't figure out what he wanted or needed.
That would kill me.
That would suck.
Really
The
hard.
child. Yeah, he's like, oh my God.
He probably
Can't
has
even
like a Shaolin strength head now. You know,
I think in those cases there are merits to like teaching a child sign language
Yeah.
if it's harder to do. This is just like a suggestion.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
But yeah, for children that don't want to talk, because there are certain kids who like won't talk for years.
Yeah.
And
Or get them into karate.
yeah. It's just let them get out their emotions in other ways.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, that was maybe too dark.
Yeah, blondest brunettes is my 3-year-old doesn't talk, so we learned sign language with speech therapy. Yes.
Yeah, I mean that's like I mean
You
I
can
think
teach
that's
sign language to
to babies, like,
very
really,
young
really
babies,
early.
because like you can do it's like all of the different
It's like
all of the
easier
different-
motor
yeah.
skill or something
Yeah.
than like
Mhm.
talking. Yeah.
He was set up with an ECI, early childhood intervention, by his pedi, and we got him into speech therapy ASAP. So it seems like they're doing all the right thing.
Yeah.
So last year, I was able to get Marcus into the only pre-K 3 special needs class in our district, which was huge as they only had 12 spots available for the whole district. And he loved school.
Yay!
We watched him thrive, and he did really well. So well, in fact, that his teachers and therapists said that outside of speech, Marcus has exceeded their expectations and excelled to a point that they were confident he'd gain more in a regular class with support versus a full-blown special education class setting. So plans were made for Christine, 3 female, and Marcus, 4 male, to be set up at the school that is 5 minutes walk from my parents' house, which was the logical decision since grandma watches them after school while my husband and I were working. My parents are truly the only real support we have. Also, I feel like we've gone down like a whole little rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Remember, there's still like the racist mother-in-law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't forget.
She's still
waiting.
there.
She's
Yeah.
still there.
She's a
Don't forget.
Pokemon in the bushes waiting to be
Lurking
activated.
in the corner.
What did they
So
do?
the issue, about 2 weeks before school started, Christine and Marcus spent the weekend with sister-in-law and her partner, the one that took her out into the wilderness.
Threw him in the woods.
Threw him to the wolves.
When we went to pick them up, sister-in-law brought up the topic of private school, a Montessori school specifically. Sophia, do you know what a Montessori
I
school
don't.
is?
I was about to look it up.
Montessori school is basically where it's like a lot more tactile, and it's
Mhm.
more like, public school is like, all right, here's like the track and you go on the track. Montessori is more specialized and has like more means of like catering education to a kid's specific like learning style. and
It's
stuff
like
that.
I feel like a lot of
Adaptable.
education is like factory style, like from the
Yes.
1800s. This is
Yeah.
a little bit more like as
It's
John
more
said,
adaptive.
adaptive.
Yeah.
That's my understanding of it.
Yeah, that's what I've heard too.
Interesting.
Both she and my husband went to a private school from K to 12, and their grandparents paid for it. Honestly, private school was never even an option in my mind, mostly because of the cost, and partly because I didn't want my kids around a golden spoon entitled little turds.
Damn.
Sister-in-law and her partner kept talking about how much better a private school is, how Marcus will get more one-on-one opportunities, better college and job opportunities, and how it's an investment in his future. Really quick, what do we think about private versus public schools in terms of like investment in future, in terms of education and all that stuff?
I talk with Naima all the time, and we have the classic dynamic of she's like, all right, let's like spend all the money. I'm like, no, make them go into the trenches and pull themselves up or whatever. I generally think that like most of real world success comes outside from school, and I feel like the social dynamic is more important. So I've generally had more of a slight lean towards public school because of that, and like I feel like public school will give you a taste of a lot of the social dynamics that happen in the real world, but I don't know.
I think public school is good if you can get into a magnet program, but if not, private school is probably better because like when you like if you have like if you don't have your kid in a magnet program, I think like and also it depends on the area in the school. Like you have public schools
there are
that
different
suck,
public schools,
and you have public schools that are amazing.
Yeah.
And so it's like just depending on what area you're in. But like I think for me, I don't think I would send my kid to a all boys school or all girls school.
I think
No,
I
wouldn't
enjoyed
either.
my time at my all girls school. I think it is different for girls going to an all girls school because like Sam and I were talking about this morning about sometimes when girls are in a classroom, they don't want to raise their hand because boys will talk over them, or they feel like they need to have the right answer before they say something. Whereas when I was at an all girls school, everyone was very confident to raise their hands.
Yeah.
And I do think you get a type of confidence at an all girls school that is not necessarily like you can't get that from a co-ed school,
Right.
but it is maybe easier.
There's like more protection.
Yeah.
For me, I feel like it like the all boys school, I think I learned a lot, but in terms of like those social dynamics that might be more existent in like a public school, I feel like I wasn't.
I think all boys schools can be rough.
Well, it's just like, I mean, you don't have any like there's no girls there, so you don't really learn how to navigate relationships with women in a non-romantic context in the same way that you would in a public school.
Yeah.
And I think it's like because usually like the only times that you would hang out with girls would be at dances or you know, if it was like, you know, like a girlfriend or, you know, like, you know, someone that you were dating, there wasn't many opportunities to meet people.
Like, I don't think that going to an all girls school damaged my ability to communicate with boys, but I do think it can for boys at an all boys school.
Yeah. And
just
like,
because
to be
society.
clear, like, you know, I think like college is when that kind of like happened for me. But I think if I was to put my kids in a school, I think it would be co-ed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ideally co-ed magnet public school.
I think I think that is the best solution.
You know, having gone to both co-ed and all girls, I enjoyed both of them. They both had different. Yeah, I didn't
had a
have
great
the,
experience in all schools that she went to.
I did.
That's great.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I did have a great experience. Obviously, you know, there's always going to be something going on, but
for sure.
I did not have the like all girls schools are catty and you know I didn't have that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But
good points.
Let's go. What's your opinion on public versus private schools and all boys / girls schools and co-ed? Let us know in the comments. But let's get back into the story. So honestly, I kind of felt ambushed by the whole discussion of private school. I told her as politely as possible that private school was something that was out of reach for us right now. And we were starting the process of buying our first home and finally moving out of our tiny but affordable apartment. Sister-in-law and her partner immediately and graciously offered to pay part of the $14,000 per kid annual tuition.
That's the
$28,000.
The sad thing is that like today's standard, that is actually cheaper for a private school, unless it's middle school, in which case that makes sense.
Well, no, high school. I guess like what? Like
high school
can be like
expensive. Today, this was not what we paid, but today it's like over 20,000 for the high school that I went to.
Feel like I've heard.
Wow.
It's like I've heard up to 50.
It can be really like
In the super like
Harvard Westlake
so
is
much.
super expensive.
Yeah, Harvard Westlake's like $50K.
Yeah, it's super expensive,
like that,
which is not. I think ours when we went, it was like 15
or lower.
Something. Yeah, maybe lower than that. But now it's super expensive.
Super expensive. Yeah. Once I recovered from the sticker shock and with some nudging from my husband, I agreed to consider the offer, even though the whole thing made me uneasy. Sister-in-law was all excited as if I'd already said yes and said she'd do all the legwork and get details from us. That was back at the end of July. Fast forward to this week. Sister-in-law called my husband on Tuesday and told him that the private school she talked to had an opening for Marcus and he could start right now.
Wow.
The first issue is that there's only room for Marcus. Christine would have to be put on the waiting list for an opening that might not even happen until next year. So Christine and Marcus would be to two different schools that are across town from each other. Right now, we depend on my mom to get them to school on time. I meet with her in the mornings on my way to work. She takes them to school, picks them up from school, and I pick them up from grandma's house after work. It's a lot, but it works. The second issue is that Marcus doesn't do good with change. Last year, he was picked up by bus from grandma's and taken to the school campus for the special needs class. He was extremely upset when he figured out that this year he'd be in a different school. The only reason we walked into the school was because his sister, Christine, told him it would be okay and she'd be with him. She had his hand all the way to their classrooms. Aww. It's been 7 weeks and he's only just now settling into the new school and routine. He gets to play with his sister at recess. And right now, he has 2 private speech therapists he sees every week. One therapist comes to grandma's house and one he sees in a clinic which grandma drives him to. Both are right after school. He also has an assigned speech pathologist at the public school who works one-on-one with him 3 times a week. It's like,
I
yeah,
think
would
he
he
has
get
the
that?
perfect setup.
Would he get that kind of support at this new school? I don't know.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe not. And it also might be a lot more.
Put the money in a college fund.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I feel like they only want it to be
Yeah.
used for private school. But you know what? We want you to be used for this live stream on YouTube every weekday at 3 p.m. PST. Just have her profile.
Yep.
So my husband really wants to go to a private school because he wants to give them the best of everything. He's upset with himself and thinks he's a failure because he's not in a place financially where he could pay for it himself. He refuses to see how hard he's worked to get where we are now. He thinks it is not enough and he's stupid, worthless, and doesn't deserve me. I've done the research and spoken to some trusted family members. One of them is also a teacher, and they've all said the same thing. The best thing is for him to stay where he is until next year, and that we run the risk of him shutting down because of such a big change. Yeah, also like switching schools in the middle of the year.
Especially for someone who is in like special ed classes.
Yeah. There's
It's
so
a
many.
big change.
The dynamic with his sister, they're like holding hands every class, playing and like it's perfect.
Yeah.
And it seems like he has all the resources he needs to get back at her.
Yes,
Like,
and he's doing well.
what is this private school going to do that will improve things? You know, like, is it just extra money? Like, you know, not all private schools are that great.
No. Yeah. It feels like it really is just the in name. It looks good.
Yeah.
Sister-in-law is pushing the private school because it's a smaller class and we run the risk of Marcus being pushed through the public system and something will get missed. And there's no guarantee that the private school will have an opening for either kid next year. I'm trying so hard to do what's best for both of my babies, but I don't know what to do anymore. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to put my son in private school? I want to know from you guys, what do you think? Is OP the a-hole for not putting the son in private school? John, and Sophia, what do you think OP should do? Are they the a-hole for not putting their son in private school? Like, what do you think should be part of the decision-making process with this?
I feel like there's kind of a undercurrent here of and this is the good grandparents, right? That are saying
This is the sister-in-law.
This is the
sister-in-law. Sorry.
So this is her husband's sister.
Right. The one that threw him in the woods and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think ultimately this is the parents' decision, and the sister-in-law, they seem like they're really trying to kind of impose their will on the kid and make the decisions. And ultimately at the end of the day, this is the parents' decision, and they need to understand that and be like, look, you don't get the final say in what happens to the kid. So there's that for one. And then two, it seems like, I don't know, to me it kind of feels like they just want to get their way, and it's not even necessarily about what the kid wants.
No, or what's best for him. And I also I think it is harder because the husband, you do have different ideas from two different parents.
Yeah.
But I do think you just have to have a conversation with your husband and say it's not, if he doesn't go to private school, it is not it doesn't look bad on you.
Yeah.
He's still doing great in his public school and he's getting a great education.
And I think the question is anything in deficit? And if there is anything that is in deficit in his social or academic life, what will the private school do to help out with that? So I think that's kind of the analysis that needs to be done to decide whether the kid should move. The other thing is I don't think you should move during the middle of the year. Definitely not. Yeah. So wait until next year. No need to rush. Conspiracy theory. Maybe I'm off base here, but remember earlier in the story where the mother-in-law was like, she's so much darker than Marcus?
I do think there is some
favoritism
towards Marcus because he's lighter.
I feel like the sister-in-law is favoring Marcus because he's lighter. And this whole there's only space for Marcus.
Mm-hmm. She probably only advocated for Marcus.
Is that based in some kind of racism? I may be
so.
totally off base, but it feels...
I think so, because I think the fact that we got that information about the mother-in-law, it does seem like
she raised her.
Yeah.
Right?
That family has maybe that mindset.
She's probably indoctrinated that into the sister, even if the sister doesn't even realize that's what she's doing.
It could be unconscious bias.
Yeah,
but it's still.
Yeah.
Death or Rage says, I can't believe
Death
Mama
Rage.
can't see the racist undertones with everything the sister is doing. Michelle, they only want to pay for Marcus. They don't see the daughter as family too. Yeah.
Yeah, where there was literally zero mention of activities or anything with which like
The daughter needs less help, to be fair, but
yeah, true. But yeah, in my mind, I'm like, if I have like the aunt uncle couple that's like really wanting to be involved with their nieces and nephews, they want to be involved with like all of them, like roughly approximately equally.
Yeah.
Right? I mean
that's how
that's
our
just common.
aunt was with us.
Yeah, exactly. So
true. Also, one more thing on schools. My friend went to a Quaker school and just played in the mud. And he's really cool.
Mud's great.
He's super cool and very smart.
I want to wait. You told me last time. What's the school with what's it called? Immersion school where they can learn multiple languages.
Ooh, yeah.
That's. I just want to make sure that whatever my kid goes, there's a good language program.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have a good language program.
All language
and I don't
programs
know
in
a
America
language.
suck.
Yeah.
All of them suck.
You have to have
but
immersion.
Schools are good.
You have to have immersion if you want a second language.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then your kids can talk behind your back.
I'll let it.
You learn the
let it
language
happen.
and then
That's true.
Yeah, they come back and they
It's never
teach me.
too late. Never too late to
It's
learn a
just
language.
significantly
take it
harder.
with them. We could
We
probably
call that an episode?
I think we could call that an episode.
Yeah, let's call it an episode.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
They get a fun discussion about public versus private.
Exactly. Yeah, I feel like that'll be a
That's
nice little
interesting.
comment.
We got some parents in the
Educational.
chat.
Yeah.
Who's to say we're not? Who says we're not educational?
Yeah, we're so educational.
Super.
so educational.
Super educational.
We should change the title of our show.
To
Education.
Okay, education.
Okay, education.
Send your kids here.
Yeah.
Just watch our podcast all day long, and that
And
is
you'll learn something.
You'll learn something.
yeah.
How to navigate the
Learn to be.
relationships that matter most.
Exactly.
Which is
Wait,
not-
did you
that
have
not
like
what
an
life's
okay
all
story
about?
time?
You did.
We did. Oh, just about how crazy my all boys school.
Yeah, give
or
us
not my
a-
all boys. It was my middle
school, co-ed middle school.
Give us one of the
all right,
greatest hits. Yeah.
I've said this a little bit, but my grade in middle school was so notorious. It was
notorious for years.
for
I was 4
years.
years
Like,
under.
every teacher was afraid when our class would come because
Yeah.
our group of boys was terrible. These were boys that were getting like blowies in movie theaters in 4th grade.
Yeah.
Like
Insanity.
these were people that were like smoking weed and doing salvia and doing psychedelics in like 5th or 6th grade. These are boys that
Still going.
These are boys.
These are boys that would be like smoking like cigs and vaping before it was really a thing
They created
in the
way.
bathroom. These are boys that this poor teacher, who was like one of the older teachers,
Mrs.
in
Hanson?
Mrs. Hanson, one of the older teachers, who was probably like, I don't know, she seemed like 100, but she was
'Cause she was
probably
older when she taught us too.
yeah, she seemed, well, yeah, but she quit
Yeah.
our year
And then she came back.
and she came back, but she quit because the boys terrorized her so much.
Oh my
I remember
Sweet old lady.
these like anytime there was this like game like all the boys played. I was not involved because I wasn't cool enough.
Yeah.
But there was a game as soon as she every time she turned her back, all the boys would throw pieces of paper in the air at each other and at her, and then it would be super still. But it was coming from like 12 different directions. And so she would get super pissed at that.
Yeah.
And then
So
someone
bad.
she always would drink her water bottle out of a straw, and someone taped the bottom of her straw
No.
so she
Weird.
couldn't drink it.
No.
And I remember she she was like, and she couldn't drink it, and she took it out, and she saw tape at the bottom. She's like, "Who did this? Who did that?" I think that was like one of the things that made her quit.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
It was a simple prank, but very effective if you're trying to mess
Yeah.
with someone's mental sanity.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it's like so small but so infuriating.
So infuriating,
I'm
you
just glad they
know.
didn't put like hand sanitizer in their drink or something.
Oh, God.
Oh my God. Yeah.
That happened at my school.
oh,
Yeah,
Dude.
but one of them was dating Olivia Holt.
Who?
One of the guys from your year.
Who's
Is that like
Olivia
a
Holt?
famous
She's a Disney Channel star. Blonde one.
Yeah. I mean, people in my year went on dates with like the Kardashians
Yeah.
and like
That's
stuff.
that's an LA dynamic. That's like wild to me.
I didn't hang out with these people, but Marcel hung out with these people, the Kings of the Valley. There was like a show about them.
Oh my god!
And they would like literally land to parties in helicopters and stuff. Like
Not at our school.
this was at St. Cyril. So Roman Palumbo.
It's just
what a
dogs.
Well, he's known on the
Okay.
internet, but
Well
like
documented.
like that was he went to school with Christian, and like that whole squad of people like they were getting like they were like
Oh
I
my
heard
God.
stories about them in middle school. Like they were like our local celebrities. But we're kind of actually celebrities because they hung out with the
Fun.
Kardashians and like all of these like people in the valley and stuff. Yeah, it was
That's
nuts.
so insane.
Yeah.
So wild.
I don't think we had that many.
I just
famous
know
people.
one kid that made it to the MLB. That's as famous as
Yeah,
I
that-
I don't think we had any really famous people at our. I know of.
But like being that some sort of proximity to that is like
I just heard stories
That's
about it.
what-
I was
yeah,
very
you know,
far
it's-
away.
it's- you're not directly involved, but it's
Marcel
like,
was actually friends with all of
Yeah,
them.
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
I wasn't
Haven't
Miss
wanted to show about
Chambers. Says
that.
don't raise your kids in LA. I personally had a great upbringing.
Yeah,
You're
what
all
I'm saying.
right.
you're all right.
I like living in LA.
Yeah.
I still live in
I
LA.
think LA can be good. You just don't hang out with.
Yeah. Just keep your kids away from
Well, yeah,
The Roman
we
Palumbo.
didn't do a great job today of showing that side of it. Kind of. Oh yeah, your fourth
These
graders are getting
boys.
blowies, like taking acid and stuff. You know,
It was just my year.
My year was
Farm in the
much
car.
tamer.
Everyone else
My
was
year was
fine.
much
My year
tamer.
was terrible.
Oh my
yeah.
God.
It was just Sam's.
Yeah, now I'm a little afraid. Oh my god.
Let's wrap it, boys.
Yeah.
All right, new episode. Let's get
All
into
right,
it.
No, I'm one of the boys.
Whoa.
If you love us.
If you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you, and see you tomorrow.